I'm also a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. I'm an MVP and also an MCT. So basically, I'm just here to discuss about Power Apps with you guys. So that's just me in just a short times.
That's great, Wale. Fantastic. Yes, so without further ado, Wale, I'm handing over to you.
Okay, so thank you, Raz. Thanks a lot, Raz. Good day, everyone, again. Nice to be here with you guys today, and I'm sure you guys are going to learn one or two things in my session. So I'm sure we've been learning a lot of things from the previous speakers. So we can also learn a lot of things and how you can use Power Apps. And also for the beginners in Power Apps and people that are getting started with Power Apps, I'm also going to be talking about how you can get started and what Power Apps and Power Platform is all about. So if you are here today and you like to know how Power Apps works and all that, so I'm here to discuss that as well. So just a short introduction of myself. This is me on the screen. Business intelligence analyst and trainer at Dibran Consulting. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I also lead Nigeria Power Platform user group. I'm a moderator in MCT West Africa Virtual Series. I moderate that every month. I'm also a Microsoft Most Value Professional and Microsoft MCT. So you can connect with me on Twitter at Adewale Analyst. I also have a YouTube channel, Adewale Yusuf. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Adewale Yusuf MCT. So that's just me basically. So we'll go into the session. The agenda for today, we'll be talking about introductions to Power Platforms for those that are new. We also talk about introductions to Power Apps. We talk about how you can build your app from scratch. We also be talking about understanding app properties. So a lot of people don't really understand what app properties it means. A lot of people just build an app. Since we said it's a low code drag and drop, you can do drag and drop, but how do you manipulate your app properties? A lot of people don't know how to do that. Then we also be talking about formatting and designing your app with a conditional statement. I think I love this, right? Recently, I've built most of my app with formatting and designing them with a conditional statement because I can easily change a text. Let's say once you log into an app based on this particular user, this is the text that I want you to see. This is the color that I want you to see, something like that, which make your app more efficient and more productive. So this is our agenda for today, and this is what we are going to be talking about in this session. Okay, so jumping into introductions to Power Platform for those that are new to Power Platform. So Power Platform is a low-code platform that spans through Office 365, Azure, Dynamics 365, and some standalone applications. And this Power Platform simply include Power BI, which is for business analytics. You can derive a lot of insight from your data, right? You can build a lot of insight from your data. We also have Power Apps, which we'll be talking about today. So Power Apps basically is for application development. So you build an application, a low-code application development. Then we also have Power Automate, which is for process automation, which you can use to send an email. For example, in a scenario whereby I build a report in Power BI, and the way I build those reports, I build it in a way that I normally get a data from my IT, right, every month via email. So IT send data to me every month via email. So I build an automation that will pick the data from the email that comes from that IT and put it in my OneDrive. Then I connect Power BI directly to my OneDrive. So anytime IT send an email to me, so my report is already ready in Power BI. So all this automation of Power Platform is extremely, let me say, productive, right, for you to work efficient. So we also have Power Virtual Agent, which is for intelligent virtual bots. So you can easily build a bot that interact with human being, and then it's very simple. All of them are low code. So we have data connectors that allows you to connect to different data and then different connections. So we have AI Builder, which is for artificial intelligence, and also Common Data Service. So I love this Common Data Service. It's formerly called Common Data Service. We now call it Dataverse, right? So we are going to be talking a lot about that as well today. Then you can develop faster than ever before with Power Platform. If you're a developer, you are fine. If you're not a developer, you are fine because you can start from low code. And if you're a pro developer, you can even do more, right? So pro developer plus Power Platform, you don't have any limits, right? You can build any app that you want. So what is an app? A lot of people say, okay, what is an app? I'm hearing this for the first time. So an app is typically a software that allows you to perform some specific tasks. So if you look at your organization and say, so which tasks do I normally do manually, or which tasks do I do repeatedly? So you can decide to build an app that allows you to just automate all these specific tasks. It can either be a desktop application or a mobile application. Well, an app is app. So you can build an app. So just like example of different apps that people have actually built. So you've heard of the Heathrow Airport. The guy that was able to build an application that solves some particular problems. So you can look at different applications in your organization that you can build, and they are low code. So all of us, we're citizen developer. If you're an IT developer, that means you are aware of writing some codes with maybe C#, maybe some JavaScript and all that. So even if you're a pro developer, Power Platform is for you. And then Power Apps is a low-code approach, like I said. So I won't like to spend more time on my slide. So if you look at this, this is like a tablet version of an app. If you're looking at what I'm showing on my screen, it's like a tablet version of an app. And this is like a mobile version of an app, right? Which you can build. So technically, we have three types of apps you can build with Power Apps. We have the Canvas app. So Canvas app basically means that an app that allows you to do a drag and drop. So you do a drag and drop and you build a nice application with a very effective user interface. We also have the model-driven app. So this app basically allows you to draw a business process, right? So you build an app that has a lot of processes, a lot of business processes. So I want to do this before this, then after this, I will do this. So that's model-driven app. Then we have Portal. So Portal app actually allow you to build an app that you can actually, that an external users can actually use, right? External users that are not in your organizations can use it. They can interact with it. It's typically like building a website, right? So that's what a portal is. So those are what Power Apps is. Then Common Data Service, the database that I'll be using for this demo today is Dataverse. So it's also called Common Data Service. So you can put your data there as well. So it allows you to put a lot of securities on your data and allow you to do a lot of automation. So I've talked about AI, artificial intelligence. Then these app properties that I've mentioned, there are different type of app properties. There is the visibility, there is the icon, there is the feel, there's display mode, there is text, etc. There's a lot of app properties that you can actually format or design based on your conditional statement. So I would like to jump into my demo quickly. So just to show you some things that you can actually do with Power Apps and how you can design your app. Okay, so jumping into my demo, this is Power Apps interface here that I'm showing on my screen. This is Power Apps interface here. For those that are looking at Power Apps for the first time, I'm sure we have some people that really want to go deep with Power Apps and see some things you can get done. So this is Power Apps interface you can see on your screen, and then you can actually see that I have Power Apps Canvas app from blank. I have model-driven app from blank. I have Portal from blank, right? For people that want to really start from blank, right? So also we have data here, which is where I can create my tables, right? So I can create my table here in Common Data Service, Dataverse, right? I don't know why I keep on calling it Common Data Service. I think it's because I'm used to that, but I'll keep on calling it Dataverse now. So Dataverse, so this is where you create your table, you create different table. So right now, I think I've already created a table for this demo, which is called Power Apps Demo Table. Let me click on it. So this is the table here. I've created a table and this is just the default. Let me just show the custom columns that I have here. So inside this table, I have address, I have departments to visit, I have HOD name, I have HOD signature, I have name of visitor, protection services name, protection services signature, and I have purpose of visit. So basically, this scenario of this app that I'm building is just about, we are in the pandemic era and the COVID era where a lot of visitors will come to your organization or your office, and you don't just want to allow anybody to come in, right? Because we are taking precautions measures, right? So You don't just allow anybody to come in. So you can build an app in a way that when a visitor is coming to your organization, they can actually fill a form, maybe on a portal, or maybe even if they are staff, let's say a staff, they can use the Canvas app whereby they go to the app, they fill the form, they put their name, they put the department they want to visit, they put their address, then they put maybe their name. Then once they do this, then the next thing is that this request will go to the HOD. HOD can look at this request and just put a signature on it and just sign. Then after HOD, then the protection services, which are people at the entrance of your office, right? They can look at it and say whether you are approved or you are declined. Then they can put a normal suggestion based on that, maybe for you to enter the office or not. So that's just a simple scenario. So I'm going to start my Power App from blank, which is Canvas app from blank. So I'll come to my home. I'll click on Canvas app from blank, and I'm going to call this my app. I'll call it Power Apps demo, right? Power Apps demo, right? And I'm using tablet. So not phone. So you can either use a phone or you can either use a tablet. So this is a phone format and this is a tablet format. So I'm trying to go as more granular as possible so that the people that are beginners will also understand. Okay, so now I'll click on create. So after I click on create, Power Apps is going to open something called App Studio for me. Then you're going to see how App Studio look like and how you can start building. And if you have any question as I'm working on this app, so don't forget you can always throw your question in chat. I will be available to come back to it and answer your questions. So my Power Apps is getting ready now. Okay, so interesting. So this is my app studio, and this is a blank, a blank canvas app right here. And in my Power Apps, I have home, I have insert, I have view, and I have actions, right? So from here, I can start building something, right? So what I can start with actually is I can start from building my home screen, right? So let's say in this kind of app, I want to have like two views to this app, two views, right? I want the views where the version of the app where my staff can log into, and I want the version of the app where HOD can log into, and also want, let me say three views actually. So I also want another version of the app where protection services can log into, right? So I have three logins. So I have three people that wants to log into this app, right? Three people that wants to log in: the staff, the HOD, and the protection services that want to log into this app. So basically, I can double click here and just rename this and call it home screen. Home screen. So home screen technically. So from here, I can create just a small design. So, like we said, it's a drag and drop. It allows you to do a lot of drag and drop. So I can insert an image, right? Let me say I want to insert an image and put it right here. So I can say, okay, let me come to media. I will see image here, right? Under insert, I will see media, image like this. Then I'm going to just expand my image, and I'll come to my properties down here, add an image. I can add any image from my PC actually. So let me just add something like what I have on my slide. Okay, so I'm adding something like what I have on my slide. So the pictures, I just added a picture, and I can make it, so let me just make it fill, so that I can, you can fill up here. So this is my home screen, and basically in this home screen, I want to have three people that can log into this app, right? So, and they are, let me say they are staff, so they have the credentials. So what I can do is to create a three buttons here, and I'll create maybe something like a security later, but let me just create the three buttons. So I want the three buttons here. So this three button is for visitors. So let me just write visitors that are coming into this app. And then I also want to have, let's say HOD. So I want to have HOD here. So HOD here, and I also want to have protection services. Okay, So that's the third login, protection services, protection services. So first thing first, before I start building another part of the app, from this home screen, I can start doing a lot of conditional statements to actually validate people that have access to. Okay, so let me see if I can switch off my video. Please, if there's any issue, just let me know. You can call my attention to that. Okay, but can you see my screen very well? Can you see my screen very well? Please confirm that, Raz.
Yes, Wale. Yes, we can see your screen. Thanks. I think that's helped. Yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you. All right, so from my home screen here, I can actually start an automation from here, right? And I can start maybe a conditional statement from here that says that anytime a user wants to log into this app and you are not part of the list of my HOD, so I'll just determine the list of my HOD in my database. So if you're not part of the list of my HOD, then you should not have access to this. You cannot click on this button here. This particular button here, should just maybe it should just, the visibility should not be on, right? So, and this is how this works. If I click on HOD, this is what I mean by properties, right? App properties. So these are different app properties and different maybe let me say shape properties and all these button properties that you can actually work on. Now let's look at visible. So presently you can see the default of visible is true. So if I change this visible to false, right? If I change this to false, you will notice that this particular button will disappear, right? Can you see we can't see that button again, right? But it doesn't mean that that button is not there, but it's not visible to a particular user. You can't see that HOD buttons there. So instead of me now saying, okay, so I want it false, I can do a conditional statement that make it false, right? That make it false or true, right? So I'll just do a conditional payment that just make it a statement that make it false or true. Now let me make this true. Okay, so this is true. Now let me make this true. Now, before I can do that, I need to actually have the list of my HOD somewhere. I can just do an email address. I can do an add code that says if this email is equals to this, then do this. But it's not good to add code actually, to add code your emails inside an app. So I can go to my data vast here and just easily click on table and say here I want to have a new table, and the new table that I want to have, I'm basically putting the list of my HODs, right? So if you are HOD, you have access to this button. If you are not HOD, you don't have access. So I can say HOD, I'll just call this HOD name, and then we'll just do this quickly, just create a table for HOD quickly, and then email address. Yeah. HOD quickly, email address, then this table is just provisioning, then I'll save this table. So now I have a table that has my email address and then HOD, right? Which I can actually just put something there. Now let me just save this table as this table is provisioning. Okay, so I'll come back to my table later. I'm still saving my table. So from here, I can do an if condition that says if you are not part of this table, right, then this thing should be false, right? Once you sign in and you're not part of this table, then you should not see this. You should not see this button, this HOD button. You should not see it, right? You should not see the HOD button, right? So I can come here and come to my visibility. So under my visibility, what I'm doing technically is just I'm writing an if statement, just like the way you do in Excel, for those that are familiar with Excel very well. So I can do an if and say if the users that actually sign into this app, right? So user, if you want to represent a user in Power Apps, you just do something called user, then you close your bracket and then you put dot email, the user dot email, user email, whatever sign into this app, right, is not in the in the HOD table, right? So I'm using in this time, right? I can decide to use equal. I can decide to use in, right? So it depends on the kind of rules you are trying to test in the HOD table. But remember, I have not connected to the HOD table yet. So I can go to view here and say data sources. I can add a table here. So let me just add some of the tables I know I would need. So let me click all. I know I will need the HOD table. So let me add HOD table to my data sources. I'm also going to need the other table, that Power Apps demo table, which is this one. I'm going to add it here, right? So I've added the tables that I need, right, in my app. Now, here, I will say if user.email, that wherever sign in is not in the HOD table, right, which is this one. If you're not in the HOD table dot, let me say dot emails, right? Email. I'm just comparing the email of the HOD and then the user that signed in right now. So if you're not in the HOD.email address, then I can either return false or true. So if you're not there, then it should be false, right? Remember, false is to deactivate visibility so that you can't see this. Then if you are there, it should be true, right? Should be true. Then I'll close my bracket. Right. So once I close my bracket, then this should now activate on our user. Once the user sign in, then you notice that the user will not have access to this particular button because they are not part of the HOD. Right? So if user.email is not in HOD.email address, then this should be false. Then if not, then this should be true. Right? This should be true. Or should I just say, okay, if user is in HOD.email address, if you are there, then it should be true first. I think true, yes, true. Then it should be true first. Then if you are not there, then it should be false. Sorry. True, then false, not false and true. So then it should be true, then false, right? So that's how to write the if statement for the visibility. So immediately this user, you can notice that right now I don't have access. I'm not in the HOD list. So I don't have access. You can't see anything, right? You can't see anything for the HOD because I'm not part of that list. So what I can do to be able to make sure that I can see HOD here, I need to go here and add myself to the HOD list, right? I'm sure a lot of people will have this table already set in their organization. So I can just quickly look at the form, the main form to be sure I have the emails and names as part of my view, so I can easily fill my name there and my email address so that I can see the HOD buttons when I want to sign in. So let me look at the form. So this is called forms in Power Apps. So forms is just to design the view of how to add my record to a table, right? So I'm just looking at the form and I will just quickly make sure that I have email and names in my form so that I can easily add the record that put emails and name in my record. Okay, so this is my main form loading now. Okay, so my form is still loading, so I can come back to that just to okay, so it's difficult to load the form. So I can come back to that just to quickly add my name to the list so that it can show HOD buttons for me, right? So I can do that. So back to my app. Let me just make this disappear. So back to my app, I'll come back to the HOD. So back to my app, I'm still setting my buttons up, right? So just to make sure that who have access to what, right? So what I did for this particular button, which is this HOD, I can rename it here so I will know. So which is this HOD. What I did to this button is just to set a visibility when the user sign in. Another thing I will do later is to navigate to wherever I want these HODs to go to. So I can create another blank screen, and then in this blank screen that I'm creating, let me create another blank screen. So in this blank screen that I'm creating, I am now creating the the main and then the main thing that HOD we have access to. So let's start with the HOD since I've already started talking about HOD approval. Since I'm already talking about HOD approval, so I can actually create something like we have something called a form, and we also have something called a gallery, right? So I can either pick this gallery here, this gallery right here. So what I'm doing right now is just for the HOD to view some of the things that I have done, right? But for you to understand better, let me even start creating with the visitor first, right? So let's say this is the visitor. So the visitor is going to fill a form, and then I'll just basically come here, pick something called an edit form, right? Edit form. So I'll pick this edit form, and I'll connect this edit form to this my table here called Power Apps demo, right? This Power Apps demo. So I'll connect it to it. But I just come here, just click on this to connect my form to this one. Okay, so here I have this form set. I can click on edit fields to add the things that I need the visitor to fill. I need the visitor to fill the address, department of visit, and also need the visitor to fill purpose of visit. And then I think that's all. I can add date later, but let me just leave that since it's just for a demo. And then maybe attachment. Maybe the visitor needs to attach one or two things. So these are the things I want the visitor to fill. And then these are everything I want here. So the name of the visitor, the address, department of visit, purpose of visit, and also an attachment. So I can arrange this form very well just to make it look more nice, to make it look more nice here. And then I can make it just two columns like this. So I'll just make it two columns like this. So when my visitor fill this form here, so they will see this form here. Let me change it back. Yep, to two columns. Yep. So my visitor will look at this form, fill this form quickly, and once the visitor fill this form, and then they're also going to submit this form. So I'm just going to add another button that says submit, so that visitor can submit this form. So let me add submit here. Submit, and then what I'm adding to this submit is something called, there's another property called onSelect, right? So what I'm doing to this onSelect is that I'm submitting this form. So what I will just come here, I'll just click on submit. So there's a function called submit. There's a function called submit form. So I'll just say submit form. What's the name of my form? I think my form is called form, I think form 1 actually. Yes, form 1. Then I'll close my bracket, right? So I'm submitting form 1. So this is what the visitor will see quickly, right? So they will fill the form and they will submit. Now for the HOD, now let me go to the HOD and create the screen that the HOD we have access to for an approval. So HOD basically we have access to the form and also the gallery to view all the input that was submitted by all visitors. So I can come here, select a gallery like this, and add this table to this gallery, basically. Okay, so it's blank for now. You can see it's blank because I have not added any input yet. So add this to here, and then I can do something like a form, just a view form, right? That will shows what I selected in the gallery. Okay, so I will add form here, display. Okay, display, put it right beside this gallery. I can put it right beside this gallery. Can even make this gallery look more smaller, and then put this one here. And then basically I'm adding another data source to this one. And then this data source is Power Apps demo. Yep. Then I can also edit this one to add all the details here, all the details, address that was filled, attachment that was filled, and also maybe I think I also have purpose of visit here. Yep. Then I'll add this here. So once I do this, I can connect this to this gallery. I can just come to advanced here. So under my advanced, under something called item. So what will be the item of this form, right? You can see it's empty. So item is the gallery. So I'll just come here and say gallery. I think my gallery is gallery. Is it gallery 2? Yes, it's gallery 2 dot selected, right? The selected gallery. Any gallery you selected here should show here, right? So I'm doing that. So another thing that I like to do, right, instead of making this a display, right? So I can also make it something like edit, right? So that when my HOD look at it, HOD can also edit it and then do some kind of stuff with the data that was input by the visitor. So instead of making this guy a display form, I can actually make it an edit form. I can make it an edit form. And then the edit form, basically, I will just make some field view, and I will make some field editable. So that HOD can just put it on part of the form here. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So I'm connecting to this database again. And then I'm adding all the fields, name of visitor, the address of the visitor, the purpose of visit. The purpose of visit is here. Then I'm adding the attachment, department to visit, HOD name, and HOD signature this time. HOD name and HOD signature. Okay, so right here, let me make this two columns so I can see this very well. So the address is here, the created on is here, purpose of visit, attachment, and department of visit should come before attachment, then HOD name and HOD signature. So technically, I can now make all this field. The name of visitor should be view so that HOD won't be able to edit. It's just to view. The address will also be view and view here and just say view for this. And then this should also be view. The purpose of visit should be view. The department should also be view. Department should be view test as well. And then the attachment will also be view attachment. So HOD is not uploading. Then what I'm leaving for HOD to add an input is just the HOD name and the signature. Okay, so I have this here now. So once I add a new input, I can actually do that. So another thing I can do is to add a label. So I like adding a label that says the status of the form, whether it has been validated or is awaiting validation from the HOD. So if I had a label at the top here, a label at the top here. So let me add a label at the top here. So once HOD signed this form, so it's just going to show whether you have signed or you have not signed. So that takes me to a property called text here, right? A property called text. So this text actually, I won't type it manually, but I'm going to use an if statement to validate this text, right? So inside the text, I'm just basically going to add this if statement that says if, right? So I'm adding if, another if this time, right? Just to design the text that I'm going to put here. So if the name of HOD, which is this one, is blank, then it should be telling me awaiting HOD, or let me say the signature of the HOD is blank. Then it should be telling me awaiting HOD, right? So I'm going to use another formula called is blank, right? Because I want to actually test if the signature is blank, right? So HOD signature, so I can search for HOD signature. So there is a data card called HOD signature. So if HOD signature dot default is blank, right? If this is blank, Then what I want you to write in this test is I want you to write awaiting, let me say awaiting approval. Awaiting approval. That's what I want you to put here. But if HOD signature is not blank, then I want you to put validated or sort. So let's say validated. Validated, right? Then I'll close my bracket. So now you can see that I have a test inside here, right? And this test is showing awaiting approval because this HOD signature is blank, right? So I can centralize it here. I can just centralize it here. And then now another thing I would like also is the color, is the field color, right? The field color. So the field color, if the HOD is awaiting approval, I want something like a light sky blue, maybe like a light sky blue. Then if not, then I want maybe something like a green color, right? To show that this form is really validated. That's what I want in terms of color, right? So I don't just pick any color. So you can do a validations to do a color, and it will be very easy for you to just work with your app that way. So I come back to these properties here. I'll look for fill under fill color, fill. I look for fill. Then fill here, you can see the default is RGBA00. That's white actually. So I don't want that. So I'm doing. Hello, I think I can hear myself. All right. So I'm doing that if HOD is blank as well. So I'm doing another is blank, right? If the HOD signature is blank, HOD signature is blank, the default is blank. The default is blank. Then what do I want? I want a color. And in Power Apps, I love the way Power Apps was structured. You can actually put the name of the color and it will work. So remember I said I love something about, I want something like a light sky blue, right? So I can say light, and let me see if there's a color like that. Light blue. I can say light blue. No, I want light sky blue. Yes, light sky blue. Then I want light sky blue if it's blank. But if it's not blank, that means it's validated, and I want green, maybe color green. All right, green. I want color green. Then I'll close my bracket. Right? So once I close my bracket, okay, I think something is wrong in my formula. Okay, I didn't close my bracket for my is blank right here. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to close it here before the comma. Okay, so I just closed my bracket. And immediately I close my bracket, you can see that this is already showing awaiting approval because the HOD has not validated this form yet, right? This form yet. So another thing I can also do, right? So look at this, let's say this gallery, right? So in this gallery, I can also sort of add something, right? That says that when I have worked on a particular approval, it should give it a check, like an icon, right? It should give it an icon check. But when I have not worked on a particular approval, then it should not, should not do anything on it, right? So let me add an input first before, so that we can see what we've been doing. So I can come here and just say, I can say, okay, so let me add a new data in my app. So let me add something new. So to add something new, I'm just basically going to go to my form here, and I will just, but let me just put something here that shows new form, like a button here or an icon here that I can use to click new input. I can do it from the home screen, but let me just add it here for demo sake. So this basically, I'm writing a formula that says new form here. Or let me even do it from my home screen. So it will be easy. To be easy that way. So if a visitor click on this button, it should just do a new form. There's a formula called new form that allows you to do a new form. You should just do a new form of form. I think my form is called form 1, right? Do a new form of form 1, and also navigate to my visitor. Navigate to visitor. right? Navigate to visitor. Okay. Now, so when I click on this visitor, right, to come to this form, I can put my name here, say the name of visitor is Adewale Yusuf, the address is this, the purpose of visit is official, and then department to visit is sales, and then I can attach maybe something like something necessary, and if not, then I'll submit this form. So once I submit this form, so I expect this form to have go to HOD. So we won't talk about the email automation today, right? You can actually automate this so that immediately you click on submit, you just go to your HOD. Then HOD will come to the app, click his own version of the app, then he can start working on his own approvals just to see whether he has done something, right? So I've submitted my form, and if I come to my HOD view, I should be able to see this here. So let me add another input, right? Let me add one more. So you see the different, oh, sorry. I need to click on the new form to be able to do this. Play this from here, visitor. This person now is Rax. So I'm adding Raz as my second visitor, right? So I'm adding Rax. So let me just put Raz Dynamics as my second visitor. Rax address is Rax. Can you borrow me your address quickly? just mention the state or country. I'll just put it there.
Hi, yes, definitely. Okay, yes, it's Manchester.
Okay, Manchester. All right.
United
Then
Kingdom.
purpose of visit for Raz is training, or let me say community service. Let me just put training. And then department you are visiting is operation department. So operation, and then Raz is adding an attachment. Is also adding an attachment. Let me to add, and then I'll submit. Hello, I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, we can.
Hello, can we hear me? Hello, Raz, confirm you can hear me. Okay, so I
Hiya,
think the
Wale. Yes,
network
we can
was
hear you. We've
fluctuating.
got some more people joining the call, but we can definitely hear you, Wale. Yes, thanks.
Okay. All right. Raz actually. For rags actually, and I submitted twice. So if I come to my form here, so my HOD view here, I should be able to see RAS form here. I should be able to see it here, all the details, and then okay. So I think I've connected this to this. Should be able to show me the details. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think I do it in the previous. So I'll come to, I think I'll come to advanced under item. Yes, I haven't connected the item yet, and item is gallery 2, gallery 2 dot selected, right? Gallery 2 dot selected. Yep, so gallery 2 dot selected. Okay, so let me see. Gallery 2 dot selected. Oh, sorry, I think my Power Apps is just acting funny. Let me type that again. Gallery 2 dot selected. Yeah. Okay. so let me see if that's already, sorry. Quickly do that again. Sorry, think I said. So on the two, yes, it's my two. Yep. Yeah, so now it's there now. So gallery 2 does selected. So immediately I select this, you can see all the input, you can see Raz, you can see Wale. So, and I can sign a form for this person. So, right, I can say my HOD name and then my signature. So I can start to put the pictures later or signature. I can just say AZ, let me just put something here as a signature. Then I can submit this form again. Right, I think that submit this form. Another button that submit this form here. Submit this form. Okay, so this button basically is submitting this form too. So submit form, and I'm putting form 2 here. So my system is acting. So I just want to show you how to automate the icon. Basically, I know my time is running out of time, but let me just show you how to automate the. I think that's very efficient. Oh. Wow. I think my system is. I think my power apps just crashed, and then I'm not sure I saved. I'm not sure I save. Interesting. Okay, so can you still see my screen, Rez?
We can. Yes, we can.
So I hope I'm closer to my time already, but my browser just crashed. Let me see. Hopefully you get back soon. So the issue here is I've not saved, right? So that's just a lesson. Some kind of make sure you save always from some issues like this.
Very good point, Wale. Very good point. When building Power Apps, yes, it's a very practical implication when using cloud for building apps. So, whilst we're on that topic, Wale, you've been covering a lot of your session on the expressions for Power Apps, which is a very important, and I think the main skill for Power Apps, right? The main skill for Power Apps is the expressions that you've been showing people how to construct. So I think the last 5 minutes of this session, I think that would be good to go over the construction of your Power App expressions that you've been creating. I think that would be really good to reiterate for the audience.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I think it's because my system crashed. I was just about to just play fractal, see the way the visitor was signing in the way basically the expressions that I'm creating is just for you to make your apps dynamic. So if you look at the shape that I created and the text that I created that shows awaiting approval and the validated, right? So something that your users can easily see that this is already approved and this is still under, this is awaiting validation. So the expressions are very simple. So to write Power Apps expression is not really hard. So just like the way you have when you write if statement in Excel, if this is equals to this, then this, then this. So very simple. And there are some basic formulas like navigate, like submit form, like new forms, to make your app more dynamic. So for me, basically, I like using if statement a lot and like also using lookup and the like. So the expressions are very cool, right? And you can read more about it. I think I have a video that I'm releasing soon on my YouTube on those expressions and how you can write more expressions.
That'd be great, Wale. If you could share some links or if you can share some resources to Power Apps expressions, I think that would help the attendees a lot.
Okay. All right. I will share that soon.
So we have the last 3 minutes.
Any questions for me?
Yep, last 3 minutes of the session. If you could kill that browser that's it's causing your internet to it's causing some throttling on your internet. If you just kill that request, that Power App Studio request, then hopefully it should relieve your Microsoft Teams. Yeah, great, fantastic. Okay, so let's take a look at some questions then. Here we go. So Mishra is asking, how can HOD check out all the attached documents by simply clicking on it, or if it needs some more work?
Okay, so for the HOD, right? So you remember I made the HOD view, the HOD screen a view, right? So HOD need to download the attachment. So once the visitor actually submits their attachment, so what HOD is doing is just go to that page. HOD will see the list of all the files that was attached. Once HOD click on that files, then it's going to some kind of download the attachment for the HOD. So I'm trying to check if I have one of the demo I've completed, and I can just quickly show you that. I think that can relieve you from seeing some things that have been done like that. So yeah, I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah, and Bill is asking if the if statement isn't strictly necessary, the in statement just has to evaluate true or false. So could you clarify that for Bill regarding the if and the in statement?
Okay, so thank you, Bill. So sometimes when you are trying to do some kind of conditional statement within two, let me say two objects or two tests, right? So let's say if this email address is equals to I'm at coding and I'm saying wyusuf at gmail.com or outlook.com. So that's, I'm trying to do a condition statement between two tests, right? But when I'm trying to now do a condition statement on a table, right? So I'm trying to check a list of let me say lists of emails inside a table, right? I'm trying to compare with a list actually, so like a table. So when you're doing that kind of comparison, in is advisable for you to use, right? So in is advisable because you are doing a comparison between a list. So in is very, very advisable so that you can just some kind of compare that particular user with a list inside the table. So it's just basically going to look at the list in the table and just show you something based on that.
Fantastic. So again, Wale, thank you for this session, and please share your contact details as well as share any useful resources for getting started with writing functions for Power Apps, as your demonstration clearly, obviously, has shown. And do you have any final words for the community as well?
And so my final word for the community is just to keep learning. All of us like learning a lot. And then I'm sure this platform, a lot of people are getting job opportunities. A lot of people are getting contracts from Power Apps. And a lot of people are actually, let me say, moving up with this platform. So just keep on learning. Don't stop learning. Relearn and also learn. So I'm sure you are going to get there. So that's my final word. I'll
Fantastic.
drop my contact in chat,
Yeah.
and I'll also drop some resources.
Great stuff. That'll be really helpful. Thank you so much, Wale, and thank you for persisting with the with your internet connection there. Thank you so much. So yeah, so that was Wale, everyone. Wale will be sharing his connection details with you all, as well as some useful resources for Power App functions. Lots of thanks from the community to you, Wale. Thank you again for joining us from Nigeria.
Thank you, Raz.
Awesome. So that was Wale. That was Wale, everyone. Okay. So now